Welcome to this quick class on video marketing. In this lesson, we're going to learn 4 really easy, low-cost ways to incorporate video into your marketing. My name is Kimberly Beer, and I'm the president and mindful marketing muse at bemorebusiness.com. It's my mission to help small business owners become more sustainable as entrepreneurs and thrive in their business and life. And marketing is a huge piece of that puzzle. Now, as far as video is concerned, I was an early adopter of video marketing. The first videos I produced were actually released on VHS tapes back in the day when we used to do infomercials. I was a really early adopter as well of YouTube, and I've been on YouTube since very early on for my clients and helping them utilize that channel as a really fantastic way for them to reach not only market but also to reach and service their current customers, because your current customers are often the source of your best new business that will come your way. All right, let's dive in with some tips on how you can utilize video in your marketing, even if you don't want to film anything or produce a video. I have some suggestions for you. All right, the first one I have is to use your smartphone. Most of us forget that we have one of the most powerful marketing power tools, and it's usually in our pocket. This is an item which you're going to have anyway with you most of the day. Most of us are attached to these devices like crazy, so we always have our smartphone around. So let me ask you a couple of things. Did you know your modern smartphone has almost everything you need to record awesome video almost anywhere? Now I put the almost in there because there are times when we can't use our smartphone. We might need some professional video setup. But for most occasions, for a lot of small business owners, a smartphone is all you need. And here's another really big secret. The processor that is in your modern smartphone for video is actually as good as most of the first generation digital video cameras were. I'm still using footage from a lot of those cameras that I used back in the day when digital was brand new, and it holds up really well even years later. Now, your smartphone has similar, if not better, capability than those cameras did. So ever discount this as being a professional device that you can utilize. You can also add professional accessories to your smartphone to make it even better. There's a whole industry that has come about because of smartphones and because of helping people be able to utilize them in a very professional way for video. You'll see it all the time for vloggers or video podcasters or people who do a lot of live social media videos. They look amazing, and it's because they're just adding a couple of professional accessories to an already existing smartphone setup. Did you know that you can link together a group of devices? Now, in this case, I'm only going to be able to vouch for Apple devices, but I hear a rumor that there's also a similar product that I'm going to tell you about for Android devices. But you can link a group of, in this case, iPads and iPhones together with different angles and make almost TV quality productions. So you've seen a TV studio and maybe how they do that. They have different cameras set up, and then there's a person who has a control panel where they can choose what angle is getting shown when. You can do that with your iPhone and iPads. How cool is that? It's pretty amazing. So, did you also know that most consumers trust smartphone non-professional videos over big budget videos because they feel unedited and thus more honest? Let's face it, as consumers, we understand that CGI and Photoshop exist. When you are obviously in a non-professional video setting, in other words, something that we can identify as being filmed on a cell phone, from a consumer perspective, we're pretty sure that you didn't Photoshop or, kind of CGI over anything in that particular video. And so we feel very connected to it, like it's very authentic. And it does build trust because it shows transparency between you, the business owner, and your consumer, that you're showing them raw, unedited who you are. So here's some tips for being able to use your smartphone video well. Now, in the years that I've produced videos, there are two reasons that I have found that people will not stick with watching a video. Now, obviously, the content does have to be interesting, but regardless of the interest level of the content, if the audio is not clear or annoying, people will quit watching the video. So it's really important to get a mic and as well, or be mindful of your surroundings. If you're in a loud area, try to move somewhere where it's quieter. If you're recording in a house or a building, try to move to a small room. There's a lot of podcasters that actually produce their podcast in their closet because audio is better in smaller rooms. So just be mindful of where you are. Microphones that you can get for your cell phone are pretty amazing. There's some really inexpensive ones that just hook right into your mic jack. And you can also buy more expensive ones, including up to professional level audio devices with entire like little switcher things that you can hook to them to determine what the level of the audio is on different microphones. There's just the sky is really getting to be the limit on cell phone accessories when it comes to producing videos with them. On the video moving around too much, getting a selfie stick if you're doing the talk to the camera type of a video is really important. You can also get a tripod if you're doing interviews or filming action that's taking place out in front of you. This really helps stop a lot of that camera movement and makes the video a pleasurable experience to watch. Now, if you're wanting to walk around and video at the same time, there's also something called a gimbal that you can use. Now, gimbals use a fluid head that absorb your movements and don't translate them to the camera. Now, if you're wondering what that actually looks like, the photo on this particular page of this young lady she is using a gimbal on her cell phone. Now, this is a common device we've used with video cameras for a lot of years, but it's relatively new to use a cell phone in that space instead of a traditional video camera. So I recommend that you search these out. I'm going to give you one that I know is a good quality one, but like any good Google search, when you put it into the Google search bar, you'll get a lot of alternatives that you can explore. Just read the reviews carefully to make sure they're right for you. Another piece of advice that I have is for you to consider where you're going to be publishing this video before you film it. For most uses, horizontal video is preferred over vertical video. That means that if you're going to publish the video on YouTube, or you're going to publish it on your website, or you're going to publish it on Facebook or LinkedIn or almost any other source, horizontal is absolutely perfect. And if you film the video in vertical, it will always get, it will look weird because it'll always be small in the center of this horizontal screen. And it just doesn't look right if you transfer back and forth between vertical and horizontal, or if you only do vertical and it's displayed in a horizontal format. So for 85% of what you do, it's going to be in that horizontal format. Try to keep your action kind of towards the middle of the frame if you're going to be publishing it in Instagram, which prefers a square format. Now, for that remaining little percentage, there is this annoying little new trend in social media marketing called stories. When it comes to video there, you want it to be vertical, which means you need to film it with your camera up and down in the portrait mode versus horizontal. Now, this can get a little bit annoying if you want to use a video for both the Facebook news feed and one of these story formats, which for our purposes are mainly going to be hosted on Facebook and Instagram. They are in other places, but Facebook and Instagram tend to be the most popular place for stories right now. They are a great avenue for marketers because they're brand new real estate we can move into and market to our customers. They also disappear quickly. So the message is really a short-lived one, and consumers do like to connect connect to us through stories. So I'm not saying that they're not an avenue. What I'm saying is that if you're going to use a video for them, make sure you film it the right way with your camera up and down in a portrait mode, and then either refilm it for the horizontal, or if you want to use the same video for both things, film the video in horizontal, but make sure you keep your action where the vertical frame would be so that you can crop it and make it vertical for the story feed. Another big tip that I have is to get some video editing software, or at least use the editing function on your phone to trim your video. When you're taping or recording, in this case, boy, that's an old word, right? Taping. When you're recording your video, a lot of times there will be things at the beginning that you want to cut out and things at the end that you want to cut out. And smartphones most of the time will allow you to do that with software that came with the phone. Now, you can also download some more complex video editing software that you can use to get the exact look that you want and even string clips together. So I encourage you to explore those for your particular phone format. When it comes to lighting, that's the third quality that we really have to consider. And if the audio is clear and the video seems stable, then the next thing people will look at or connect to is the actual picture itself. Now, my recommendation is that you use natural light whenever possible, because lighting in buildings and fluorescent lighting tend to not be the kindest for human faces. Natural light is much more appealing for us. So you can always enhance your lighting situation with camera LED lights. Just search for selfie lights on Amazon and you'll find a ton of these things. They're incredibly affordable, and you can really add some beautiful effects, including little filters that warm up a cool light environment or cool down a warm light environment. So whenever you can, use natural light. Outdoor light, by the way, is best early in the day and late in the evening. Normally, that harsh light that occurs especially around noontime is not the best time to be filming. It makes weird shadows on human faces. So try to aim for morning or evening. One other tip that I have when it comes to smartphones is to use the live aspect of your smartphone. Your smartphone allows you to be completely spontaneous and authentic in the way that you communicate with your consumer. So take advantage of that. Download whatever you need to create live feeds. Most social platforms come with the capability to do that directly from your phone, directly from the app that they support. So Facebook tends to be the one we think about the most. You can do a live video straight from your business page right out to your audience. The key with live videos is to try to get some feedback going during the video. And there's two things that you need to do to make that happen. One, let people know when you're going to go live. And two, make sure you stick around on the live feed long enough for the people to get logged in and actually make some responses. In other words, if you're only live for about 2 minutes, you're not going to give people enough time to be able to get onto the feed and to make a comment. Those things take a while. So be prepared to be there for a period of time to make this an engaging experience for your viewers. Some resources that you can look to help you with the tips that I just gave you are iographer.com. Now, iographer.com offers all kinds of accessories that I just talked about, including cell phone microphones and also tripods and different handheld devices for helping you steady your video feed. It's a really great format. They have a super blog that you can get on and learn about mobile filmmaking using your smartphone. The gimbal that I talked about earlier that steadies the picture, one of the ones that I recommend for that is called Smooth, and it's smoothmobile.com is where you're going to find out more information about that. If you just Google Smove, S-M-O-V-E, you're of course going to get all of their competitors as well. So you can go and dig around in that particular Google search result and see if you can find something that you like better or is less expensive. I do know people who use Smove mobiles and get along wonderfully with them. I use something that is called a DJI device. So it's DJI.com. And I've had a really good experience with that as well, but I hear more positive reviews about Smove. So I'm going to encourage you to go check them out as well. When it comes to editing software, Adobe Premiere is kind of the software that pros go to. And lucky for you, they are also available as apps from your app store. And these are available for both Android and iOS. So you can look for Adobe Premiere Rush and Adobe Premiere Clip. Just like Smove, if you Google those things, what you'll do is you'll come up with a list of alternatives. So if you don't want to pay for these particular apps or you want to explore other options, when you Google those brand names, their comparable competitors will come up as well. Now, remember I told you about this TV studio quality with the iOS devices and being able to switch back and forth? Well, that's handled through something called switcherstudio.com. There really isn't a comparable product to this, so I encourage you to go directly to their website, switcherstudio.com. Now, if you have an Android device, because Switcher is only going to be for iOS, I did a quick Google search for Switcher Studio Android, and there were some software possibilities that came up. I can't vouch for any of those because I haven't used them. I have used Switcher Studio, and I can tell you it is worth every penny that they charge for it. And it is an amazing opportunity for you to have multi-camera photo shoots, which is just so awesome. So check out Switcher Studio when you can. Now for my next tip, I'm going to talk about some apps. So you don't even have to film video in order to create video. What these apps are all-in-one video applications that make producing a video super easy, and a lot of times you don't even have to have video footage to get it done. You don't have to pick up a camera, you don't have to film anything, and some of them don't even have video in the videos. I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. So did you know you didn't even have to make video to make a video? It's a pretty cool situation. You can also buy stock video footage if you don't want to do any filming of your own and use it to make your video, meaning that you never even have to pick up a camera in order to get a video made. You just simply buy some stock footage and record a voiceover over the top of it, and using one of these video apps in order to get that done. Many times you can even get the music rights included with the final video production, which is really important. Music is something that usually hitches people up when it comes to producing a video because they think that they'll be able to get mainstream music, and then they find out how expensive it is, and then they go digging for alternatives, and that process can get really, really hairy at times. So I'm going to give you some tips here in a moment on what you need to look at when you're looking for music for your video. Also, did you know that these online services can cost a fraction of editing software or hiring a professional videographer? Many of them are between $20 and $65 a month and offer a ton of services for those particular subscription fees. So let's take a look at what it takes to be successful with a video application service. So the first thing you need to do is accept the requirement that this is an inexpensive but not free form of getting videos for marketing. You are going to have to pay an annual subscription if you want the best value for your dollar. So just be aware of that to start off with. This is not free applications, but they are super affordable. Video applications often have setups for very specific video formats. For example, square for Instagram or vertical for stories. You should use those accordingly. So again, just like with your smartphone, think about where the final destination of your video is going to be. Video applications require you to learn how to use a piece of software. So take a little time to follow the in-app tutorials and watch app videos to understand how the product actually works before diving in, and it will save you frustration. So a lot of these are both desktop and on your mobile, so you can do them in either place, and you upload either stock footage or photos, and then you organize them in a video in their templates. So you'll pick a template and then you'll add your material to the template, and then that produces the final video. Well, the course of adding your stuff to the template can sometimes require a little bit of a learning curve, and that's what I mean by following the app tutorials before you dive in. So when buying clips and music for your videos, which a lot of times people who use video application software like this, these little all-in-one packages that provide you a template and really produce and even house the video for you, you need to find some things to put into them. So when buying clips and music for your video, make sure you purchase something called royalty-free. So royalty-free means that you don't get charged by the use. Typical royalty footage or music means that you buy a license to use it for a specific project, and you'll need to know things like how many of them are going to be produced, or how long is it going to be produced, and how much of the video is going to be dependent upon whatever it is that you're buying. Royalty free removes all of those restrictions. It just says you have rights to use this video in your marketing projects. So make sure you look for royalty free when it comes to music and clips, and then you'll just be safe. Here's the biggest piece of this with copyright. Don't take clips and photos from Google and think that it is okay. It is decidedly not okay, and you can get yourself in some serious trouble with copyright offenses if you're not careful. So don't just take video from other people's websites or take photos from other people's websites or from Google searches. Make sure that you have rights to use those particular items. And I'm going to give you some good resources for all of this. All right, there's 3 of these all-in-one video application production software pieces that I recommend. The first one is the one that I use, and that's called Animoto.com. So with Animoto, you can choose from templates that are more geared towards photographers or templates that are more geared toward business. Now, if you're wanting to tell a story with your photos, the ones for the photographers work great. But if you're wanting to do things like step-by-step videos, like step 1, do this, step 2, do that, or the videos that talk about particular product or service attributes for marketing, Animoto has specialized templates just for that. Now, the content that you can put into Animoto is just like the 2 that follow it, which are Promo and Powtoon, but you can use photos, you can use video clips from your phone, you can use stock footage, you can use just about anything that you can get into a visual format. You can use words, and it will help you lay out all of those slides that go with the video. And then in the end, it produces the video and makes it into a cohesive package that will do a short photo slideshow. Then it'll show a video clip, and then it'll show some words. So it makes all of that for you. It is a really, really awesome way for you to be able to create videos. Animoto, again, is the one that I use. Promo and Powtoon are also 2 alternatives, and I encourage you to explore all 3 and find the one that's right for you. Most of these have a very inexpensive or even free trial that you can try to see if it's right for you. As far as Animoto is concerned, Animoto is connected to something called Triple Scoop Music. And because it's connected to Triple Scoop, you are able to actually get music for your videos right there in the app. So it makes it super simple to be able to produce a complete video in this particular piece of software. Now, I pay for a professional level subscription with them, which I pay annually, which is I think it's just a little over $300 a year. There is no way that I could pay a video production company to be able to do what I can accomplish in Animoto for $300. And realistically, the amount of time that saves me for being able to produce videos for other people using Animoto is amazing. I cannot say enough good things about Animoto or apps like it, like Promo and Powtoon. So I really, really encourage you to explore those because they let you make videos without having to really do much of anything as far as video is concerned. So it's a great way for you to jump into this if you don't feel comfortable filming or if you don't have a great stockpile of video footage to start off with. Places that you can get footage, speaking of that, are Big Stock Photo and iStockPhoto.com. Both of those places have stock photography that is royalty free and very affordable. So you can look for photos and you can look for videos on both of them. And then of course we have Triple Scoop Music, and I believe it's triplescoopmusic.com. I may have made a boo-boo there. So look for Triple Scoop, and Triple Scoop will have a place where you can get really decent music for your videos royalty free. You just tell them a little bit about how you're going to use the video how you're going to use the music, and they will price it for you. All right, tip number 3, influencer videos. Now here's a way that you don't even have to get your hands in the video to be able to be featured on a video. You don't even have to film a second of it, and you will be very successful in video marketing. So what am I talking about here? I'm talking about you working with somebody who already has an entire video setup and is in your industry and regularly broadcasting videos that are around a topic that is related to your business. So for example, if you have a home decor business, you might team up with an influencer who talks to your target market, maybe people that are redesigning their home. So they talk to that particular market, or it's part of their target market. Maybe they have a house decorating show. And because you sell items that go in a home, they'll feature some of your items in their video. I hope that makes sense. But influencer videos are amazing, and it's one of the most popular ways these days for businesses to be able to get traction, especially in social media. If you have struggled with building a social media following that is effective as a business, you are not alone. It is a big struggle for everyone, but influencers seem to be able to do it really easily, and you can hire them to take advantage of their influence over your target market. So did you know you can share videos from industry influencers to motivate and engage your audience? So just find one and find them on YouTube. You can find them on Instagram and just share their videos into your newsfeed as long as their values and messages align with your brand's values and messages. It's a really good thing for you to share their stuff to your particular audience. And sometimes it'll get you noticed enough by the influencers if you do it often enough that they may even approach you versus you having to approach them. Although to be honest, it's almost always going to be the other way. So did you know influencers are considered one of the best ways to utilize social media? I've already talked about that a little bit, but I want to reiterate it again. Social media reach for small businesses and for business in general has dropped so dramatically in the last couple of years that it can feel like you almost aren't making any progress on your social media. Influencers can really, really boost that presence for you and really help make you sales and conversions. It kind of works off of the same thought as social proof, which is like your testimonials and your star ratings. It's someone else besides you telling them to go, the consumers, to go buy your product or service. So it's this wonderful sort of testimonial thing that happens within our consumer market. Now, the important thing to remember is that consumers are pretty savvy. They are aware a lot of times that influencers are paid to promote a product or service. So just make sure that that influencer's message so perfectly aligns with your values and your brand message that it feels like it just is a really natural fit. In other words, that they would recommend it even if they weren't getting paid for it. So did you know getting your product or business featured on a video from someone with a following in your target market is like marketing super fuel? And that was just what I was talking about. Did you know celebrities aren't the only influencers? You don't have to find somebody with 100,000 followers or 500,000 or 1,000,000 followers. Even somebody local with a few hundred followers can have a huge impact on your marketing. As a matter of fact, a lot of times some of these micro influencers, as they're called, can be even more impactful than the big influencers because their target, their followership is a lot more engaged with them. They're still on a very personal level, and their personal recommendation means a great deal to consumers. So here's some advice on working with influencers. Make sure you study them before you approach them. Number one, make sure they align with your values and vision and mission in your business, because you've got to make that message cohesive or it just doesn't work. Make sure you research the other brands that they're promoting. Are there any conflicts of interest? Is there anything that you need to know about that? And you might even reach out to see how effective they are for the other brands that they're promoting. Also, do those other brands have synergy with your brand? In other words, are there ways that you might be able to join forces or partner with the other brands that the influencer is promoting in order to maybe sponsor that influencer to come to an event or to do something around a co-promotion with another brand? So do your research, due diligence there as well. Also examine their audience. Is it really the same audience that you are trying to reach? So take a good look and make sure that that fit is really good before you approach the influencer. Anytime you begin a relationship with a new influencer, start small to judge how that relationship is going to work and if it is going to work. When you do want to pull the trigger and have a really good long-term relationship with them, make sure you have a contract with clear terms and expectations laid completely out. And if the expectations are not being met, then follow up. Also, kudos if they are being met will go a long way with the influencer really appreciating you. Resources for this. So where do you find influencers, right? So the best place to find influencers is where you want them to be doing their influencing. So if you want to work with an influencer on Instagram, then dig around on Instagram and find influencers that are being watched or followed by your target market, or for your industry. So look on Instagram. Same goes for YouTube, same goes for Vimeo, same goes for podcasts, same goes for Facebook. Any place where you want an influencer to actually influence for your business, that's where you need to be researching them. So go out and do a lot of digging around and finding them. So we've talked about ways that you can create videos, and we've talked about ways that you can utilize a video marketing even if you don't want to do any videoing yourself. But we haven't talked a lot about how to use those videos once they're made. And my fourth way for you to really incorporate video marketing into your marketing program is to use email marketing. So email marketing and video equals love. Social media, websites, they're logical places to publish, but email is magical for getting people to convert. And there's also some other really important things about email when it comes to distributing your video that really help you make good marketing decisions in the future. So did you know you do have to promote a video in order for it to be seen by a wide audience? Now, back when I did VHS tapes, we used to actually make the tape, even if the infomercial was being broadcast like on cable television, we would make them into tapes and we would hand them out to people, physically give them to people. And on the website, we would have a place where you could order a video and have it shipped to your house. We would also send out direct mail pieces, and we would spend a lot of time letting people know we had a marketing video available for them to watch. So the video marketing piece of it, the actual video itself, was only one part of a much larger video marketing plan. And the advent of social media and digital applications and less mail and less physical products feel like we don't have to do that as much. But it's also probably the reason most video marketing fails, is because the business doesn't spend due diligence marketing the video that markets their business. So you have to promote your videos in order to be seen by that wider audience that you want to be seen by. Now, the second piece of this is that this is true for, I think, 90+% of businesses. Your current customers, who should be on your email list, by the way, are your best source of new business. They're the best source of referrals. If they come back, they spend more. They are your gold in your business world. And when you are email marketing, most of the time you're email marketing to warm traffic or hot traffic, not cold traffic like you would be if you're buying advertising to a cold audience on social media. So your videos will be warmly received and hopefully warmly shared, as well as encouraging repeat business. Email marketing is one of the best ways to create actions for leads and prospects. That is so true because it's very clickable, it's very actionable. And it also is something that once you have joined an email list as a consumer, you have to take an action to dismiss the message, where on social media, you have to take an action to engage with the message. So it's a really important distinction to know that email is so high in conversions because people do have to engage with it. You can't just flip right on by it. You at the very least have to check mark something and make a determination to delete it. And for you as the business owner, that's really important, because if your business brand name is in the from line, that means you're getting brand exposure, even if somebody is not connecting with the message. So it's a really cool way for you to build on that. Did you know social media reach has dwindled to less than 1% on some platforms? Good old Facebook has really utilized their algorithm to sort of herd all of us into more conversations with friends. And that's the way it should be. When you get on Facebook, you're not getting on there to shop. You're getting on there to connect with the people in your life and the people who are not in your day-to-day life that you want to stay connected with. It's a place for social interaction. Not to say that business can't fit there, but Facebook and business owners alike know that the reason that Facebook is successful is because it has such broad appeal. If we start mucking that up with a ton of advertising that doesn't make sense to the person on Facebook, they're going to leave, because again, they're not coming to Facebook to shop. They're coming to Facebook to engage with friends and family and do some conversation around selling and buying and referring things. So there's definitely room there, but the algorithm definitely favors those conversations over marketing pieces, even if they're educational. So media reach for businesses has really, really dwindled down to almost nothing. But email marketing has held steady in this. It has open rates of between 8 and 30% depending upon your industry, which is amazing when you compare it to social media. Now, just for a metric to keep in mind, in direct mail, we expect a 1% return. So now social media is about the same as direct mail. Email, on the other hand, is trending still much higher. So email is marketing can give your video superpowers. One of the things that happens is that in order to watch a video from an email, for most videos, now I'm going to tell you a little secret, there's some new tools that are coming out that allow you to watch a video directly in an email. But for right now, most people have to click on it and then it loads the video in your browser window in order for you to watch a video from an email. Well, guess what happens when you click on something in an email? You as the business owner get to see that on a report. So you can see what your audience is interested in, and then you can judge on how you might want to utilize that information in the future. Do you want to make more videos like that? Did they get a lot of clicks? Then yes, you do. Did it not get a lot of clicks? Well, maybe we need to rethink some things in order to make that work. So reports in email marketing show click-throughs and video clicks, and video clicks are easier to get than any other kind of click. So let's talk about some good email marketing advice. You're going to need a professional strength email marketing tool like Constant Contact or Keep. Those are two of the ones that I recommend. They're not the only ones out there. There are a multitude of others. You will need to create videos that serve as well as sell. So almost all video marketing these days is marketing that's subtle. In other words, we can't just go, hey, here's my product, buy it now. It's not as well received as demonstrating what the product would do for people or explaining the benefits or explaining how it would be used in a particular situation. So when you're creating your videos, create videos that serve as well as sell. And in email marketing, they're going to work fantastic because remember, by and large, you're sending these emails to people who already are warm traffic or warm people in your business. Email marketing will leverage your other efforts, such as influencers. In other words, if you are working with an influencer and that influencer creates a video that has to do with something around your product or service, make sure you're sharing that via email so that you get the leverage out of that particular influencer's efforts. So it only makes good sense to be able to get that as far as you can get it. Use it as often as you can. When you are looking at your email marketing and you're utilizing video, when you look at the reports, if you're not getting enough opens, take a look at changing your from line or the subject line. People often think the subject line is the only determination in whether an email gets opened or not. It's actually the from line. If you look at the way that you read your email as a consumer of email, you look at the from before you look at the subject. And your cell phone is automatically set up to make the from the most prominent piece of information when you're scrolling through. So it's really important to have a from line in your email marketing that looks like you, that is your business's persona or brand, and the person who is reading the email can recognize that easily. If you're not getting enough clicks, make the video more obvious or explain to people why they should be watching it. It is a best practice when sharing videos via email to tell people how long the video is going to be, because oftentimes they're not going to be able to see that little piece of information, and then give them a reason to watch the video. One is enough. If you want to do 2 or 3, list them in bullets because it'll be easier for your audience to consume. Okay, some resources for you. ConstantContact.com, Keep.com, MailChimp.com. And if you put one of these 3 into any Google search, you will also come up with a host of alternatives. Go around, take a look. Again, I advocate for number 1 and number 2 on this list because I've done a ton of research and I feel that they're industry best. But the reality is that there are a ton of really good tools out there, and I would rather you be email marketing than trying to wait to use the perfect tool. Most of them will allow you to get your list out, so if you want to change to a different one, you can. Almost all of them are super easy for consumers to use. You don't have to have a marketing professional to use any of the 3 tools that I have listed on the screen here today. So I encourage you to get out there and really look at email marketing as a viable source for being able to market, share your video marketing with your followers, as well as hopefully get some referrals from them. All right, so what's next? Pick one of these 4 ideas and explore it a little bit. Maybe the influencer part sounded wonderful. Maybe when you came to this video, you thought, I'd really like to add video marketing, but I'm not sure I want to invest in videos, and I don't know if I want to hire a professional editor. And all of that seems like a lot of work. See if maybe you can do some research around a local influencer and start small. At the very least, start utilizing that marketing power tool in your pocket, your cell phone, to be able to record some great little marketing videos. Now, marketing videos, recorded ones versus live ones. So the live ones need to be pretty, have some length to them. Your recorded videos, they can be short. They could be a little 15-second message in a story feed that just says hi to the people that are following you. Or they could be a 10-minute video that shows some people how to unbox the product that you sell, an unboxing video. Those are always fun for people to watch. What's in the box? What do you get when you order this? So people do research online a lot, and they utilize platforms like YouTube and Facebook and other places to watch videos of other people's experiences with a product or a service or a brand. And video is a perfect way for you to be able to facilitate you being that choice for that particular consumer. So I hope to see you again soon, and I hope you enjoyed today's lesson with 4 ways you can incorporate video into your marketing program.